Morning guys, I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School, and what I thought I'd do today in our continuing series on bush fit, trucking, rucking, whatever you choose to call it, is go through the pack that I've been carrying quite a bit lately, which is the Ruck Rucker. And I talked to you guys in the last video in this series, and I told you I'd kind of go through some of the packs and things that I've been using and messing with, and I showed you my surplus rucksack that I've been using a lot, that I put a railroad plate into a lot. But the Ruck is set up to accept a training plate of whatever sizes you want to put in there. Right now I have a 20-pound plate in there. I weighed this pack this morning, and the dry weight of this pack, which means weight without water, is 33 pounds. So it's just over what Ruck would consider competition weight. And it's pushing that envelope for me of this is as much weight as I want to carry over long distance. And that's the purpose of this bush fit training to me, and for what I'm doing is to make sure that if I take that plate out of there, that's minus 20 pounds. So now this pack only weighs 15 pounds, and it really has everything in it that I would need for a quick overnight or a scout. So I'm gonna really fly through the woods with something like that and be able to walk a lot of distance because I'm training with a heavier weight. And at the same time, when I go for a 3 to 5 day type trek where I might want to add weight up to that 30-pound limit that I've set on myself, or 35 pounds with water, now I can comfortably carry that. And that's the whole purpose behind this training. So what I want to do is I want to show you this Ruck Rucker. I want to show you what's inside, talk a little bit about the 10C kit that I have in there, because that's pretty much all that's in there, is what I would consider the 10Cs. And we'll go through it real quick, so stay with me, guys. Okay, so let's look at this Rucker pack up close here. I've got my cotton material on the outside. I usually wear that over my neck when I'm hiking. I've got a pair of gloves on the outside in case I decide to, do something along the way, like make camp, or I need to mess around in the brambles or the poison ivy, or I decide to just stop and do some PT. And then I've got a roll of 1-inch duct tape on the outside that I use for everything from repair to first aid. We've talked about that in many videos before. And a little bit of reflective tape on the outside. So this is a 26-liter pack. It is shoulder heavy. It's made to ride the weight on your shoulders. It's got a really nice heavy-duty grid pad on the inside here on the back to give you a lot of stability. It puts the weight right where I want it and loads really, really nice. It's got a really slim profile. I think it's a 26-liter pack, and this is one of their original pack designs, is the Rucker. And from a lot of the reviews that I saw before I purchased the Ruck pack, this is really the one to have. Everything else is just kind of frills. This is the one to have. And since I've put now about 100K on this pack, I would say that that assessment's pretty correct. You can get the 10Cs in this thing comfortably with a ruck plate, and you can definitely rock and roll. So let's talk about it. On the outside, well, we'll just open it up first on the inside. This is a clamshell opening type pack, which means it's really not an expeditionary type pack or a pack made for the woods and things like that. It's really made for exactly what it is. It's more of a day pack for rucking. But it can carry anything you need, just like a day pack would for emergencies. So what we got in here is, we've got a piece of Foul Raven outerwear in here, and this is the G1000 jacket. All right, that's been impregnated with the wax so that it is fairly water resistant, but still a little bit breathable. And I just keep that in the camouflage bag in the top so I can get to it real easy. I've got some cordage in here that I can get to really, really quick and dirty if I need to. I have a 32-ounce water bottle and cup, and I have a Hennessy Hyperlight hammock. Now this Hyperlight hammock weighs 1.6 pounds for the hammock and the fly. It's only 6 feet long, and it's only really designed for someone that weighs up to 200 pounds. I weigh about 208 now. I started at 225 3 weeks ago. I'm down to 208 now. I'm pretty comfortable sleeping in this hammock, and I have actually laid in this hammock many times when I weighed over what I weigh now, and it didn't, no detriment to the hammock. So it's got a 200-pound weight limit, but at 208 I feel comfortable with it. Then in the back of this pack you have the ruck plate pockets. And there's actually 2 pockets in here that you can put a ruck plate in. And you can see that there's a Velcro strap there that holds that ruck plate in. So I'll get this folding strap out of the way and pull it out of here for you so you can see it. So there is a 20-pound Go Ruck plate. And what I really like about this plate compared to like the railroad track tie thing is that it's all smooth. It's got 2 handles on it, so you can use it for working out if you want to while you're out there. And it's really convenient to just slide into this pack or into, you know, I was talking to my buddy Jason Hunt, and I told him, you know, if I had it to do over again, I probably would have started just by buying this plate and putting it in my surplus rucksack, because the hydration bladder slot this slides into perfect without a lot of east-west movement and almost no north-south movement. But this thing is set up so that you've got 2 pockets inside here that you can put multiple plates in if that's what you choose to do. If you're going for just a lot of weight and not a whole lot of frills and a whole lot of stuff in your pack, like I have, you may just want to go with the plates, especially if you're just training. For me, I like to have this thing set up so that it's always an emergency pack for me when I'm hiking as well, because I preach that continuously. It's got a snap system here for a water bladder if you choose to put one in, and it does have a Velcro opening at the top for your water bladder hose. I've never been a big fan of water bladders because I generally get more air out of them than I ever get water, especially if I'm trying to drink out of them while I'm hiking. So I generally kind of stay away from those. But at events and things like that, or places where you might want to get the water fast, the water bladder has its place as well. So that is this main compartment, okay? Then you've got 2 compartments here, and you have one on the outside as well. Well, all I have in here is I have a package of biodegradable wet wipes and a lid for my cup. In this top pouch, it's got a nice Go Ruck label inside of it. Again, this is a really heavy duty pack. I don't think you could ever wear this thing out. If you're looking for something bulletproof for just a day pack, this is definitely it, or a travel pack. I have a Black Diamond headlamp in here. I have an Exotac waterproof match case in here that's got Stormproof Matches by Yuko in it. So that's one of my fire starting devices. I have a small silky saw, a spare knife, which is a Light My Fire knife, which is the one that's stainless steel and comes with the ferro rod in the handle. So there's another fire starting device and a backup blade because I have a Garberg on my hip. And then I have an Exotac waterproof lighter case as well. So I have a cigarette lighter, matches, and I have the ferro rod in this pouch. I also have a compass we'll talk about in just a second with a magnifying glass on it that would light charred material easy enough. So that gives me several ways of starting fire. Now, that's the outside of the pack, and again it zips up into, or the inside of the pack, excuse me, and again it zips up in clamshell fashion. It's got heavy duty YKK zippers on it with nice shrink wrap pull or shrink material pulls on it. I don't think you're going to wear this thing out. Like I said, it's made to be abused. Okay, so this pouch right here, which is the main outside pouch, what I keep in here is my compass, and I have a Sunto MC2 Global here that has a magnifying glass on it capable of starting a fire, the mirror for signaling and first aid as well as navigation, movable bezel ring, the whole 9 yards, just like we teach at the Pathfinder School basic class. And I keep that in the top and the most outside pouch with a map of the area because I've been doing a lot of trekking in areas that I haven't trekked before into this wildlife area. A notebook with protractors and things for map reading as well, and a pencil. And that's what's on the outside of this thing. So I can get to those things really, really quickly if I need to while I'm traveling for navigation. That stuff's right there on the outside. And like I said, again, I've got emergency first aid stuff stays on the outside, like my bandana and my piece of cotton material, excuse me, and my duct tape, and then my gloves are on the outside as well. Things are set up in this pack very much like I would set any other pack up that we're going to use for an overnight. And there's no doubt that there's plenty of stuff in here for an overnight if it was necessary. And again, it's a really, really heavy duty pack. It's got a 2x3 Velcro here. I've got my Pathfinder Ruck training patch on with my roster number on it. I've been going through that training myself just as a little extra incentive for me to do more physical fitness type stuff and to get into better shape. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this today and kind of walk through it with you. It's got some MOLLE on the outside. It's got 3 rows of MOLLE here. It's got 3 rows of MOLLE here. You can get, when you buy this, it does not come with this sternum strap. You have to buy that separate. It also does not come with a waist strap, but you can buy that separate as well. I bought it separate because I had planned on using it, but I found that because this thing's not an adjustable pack, really, like a lot of packs are that are made for more expeditionary use, it doesn't ride correct for my body height. This thing's a little bit too short, and the waist strap, when it's connected to this, does not really sit on my hips the way it should to take some of that load off your shoulders. So this is pretty much just a shoulder-driven pack. All right, folks, well, I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters and Pathfinder School, and I appreciate you joining me today for this quick discussion and kind of a review of the Go Ruck Rucker. I feel like, you know, I've had this pack on my back now for 100K, right at 100K over the last couple, 3 weeks, on and off, but I've used this pack quite a bit over the last 3 weeks. So I feel like I'm to a point now where I've abused it enough that I can give it an honest review. And I think it's a great pack, but I think it's more of a day pack. It's not an expeditionary type pack, like I said. It will easily hold the 10Cs. It will definitely probably last you a lifetime. And for doing this kind of stuff, it's a great setup because it easily allows you to add weight or subtract weight from the pack above and beyond what you're carrying. And a lot of people, you know, would say, well, you know, I don't have to be all this fitness stuff to be in the woods, and you don't. But here's what I want you to think about, just to give you a quick couple scenarios. Let's say that you have not been training very much and you don't have any upper body strength at all, and you were to fall into the ice, and you've got to pull yourself out with your pack on because you can't shed the pack fast enough, or you shed your pack but your clothes are soaking wet. Now you've got to pull more than your body weight up over to get out of that ice. If you fall off of something and somebody throws you a rope down and says, hey, climb up the rope, do you have the capability with your gear of climbing up that rope up the side of a cliff if you have to, or are you just going to leave your stuff? And even then, can you have enough strength to pull yourself up? There's a lot of reasons to be fit if you're going to spend lots and lots of time recreating in the outdoors. That's just a couple quick scenarios. But like I said in the last video, don't become a liability to yourself and don't become a liability to your group. Practice with the kit that you're going to carry. Use the stuff, abuse the stuff, test the stuff, keep a new set of gear if you want to, but beat the stuff up you have enough to understand if it's going to last you a lifetime, and beat your body up when you can out there to make yourself just that much tougher, that much stronger, and give yourself that much more endurance if you need it in an emergency scenario. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, for our business, for our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.